Hi, everybody. My name is Julie Huck, and we're here with the Agent of Change. And I have a very special guest here today with me, Miss Angela Moore. She is here to share with us a little bit about what it's like to be a single mother and have an awesome big career in real estate. And so, Angela, I'm so thankful that you're here with us today. And I was wondering if you could just, tell us a little bit about your family, your family structure, and give us some background about yourself.
Sure. So first of all, thanks for inviting me. I think this is a very important topic,
Mhm.
and it isn't something I think that gets enough attention. So I'm really, really glad that you're doing this show and asking people to come on and share their experiences, because everybody's experience is different.
That's right.
So me personally, I'm a single parent. I have 3 kids. They are 20, 18, and 12. 2 of my children are non-binary, and my 18-year-old is my son. And um, we live a very interesting life. So one of the things that kind of sets us apart is I'm not just a single parent, I'm an only parent. So the father of my children passed away when I was pregnant with my youngest.
Mhm.
So that's been 13 years now. And I have been a single parent ever since. I've been in relationships. I was married briefly, and it was not a good fit. And so we ended that marriage. But for the most part, it's just been me and the kids. Our family motto is "We'll figure it out," which is very different than the family motto I grew up with, which was "Don't die stupid." And that's a true story. But
Really?
it
Mm.
it kept us all alive, so I guess it worked. But yeah, so the kids and I, we always say like, "Hey, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out." I mean, we've got stuff going on right now that we're like, "How are we going to make this work?" And it's like, "We'll figure it out."
Mhm.
We live in North Ridgeville, and I bought my house in North Ridgeville, and we've been in North Ridgeville since, let's see, 2015.
Okay.
So almost 10 years, and really love the community. And so, yeah, that's where we're at.
So tell me about your career. So how long have you been in real estate? What did you do before? And what inspired you to get into the real estate industry?
Sure. So I started in real estate in 2022.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was in digital marketing. So I started that back in 2006 when I moved back to Ohio. So I was living in upstate New York, on an Army base. My
Mhm.
kid's father was in the Army,
Okay.
and we were stationed I wasn't stationed. He was stationed at Fort Drum, New York. And so we lived there for several years. And when we moved back, my brother worked in an agency that did marketing and digital services. And so he was able to get me a job in the digital marketing department. So I started that journey in 2006. In 2008, I had these 2 little kids, and I couldn't get my oldest enrolled in preschool because there was nobody to pick them up and drop them off for a half-day preschool program. And I was talking to my mom, and I said, I need a job where I work from home. And 2 days later, or a week later, I got an email from a company where everybody worked from home, and it was doing the same job I was already doing.
Mhm.
So I started that whole process. So I've been working from home since 2008, back when you couldn't tell people that you worked from home. So I got to work with brands like Stanley Black & Decker, Fisher Price, Bath and Body Works. Four
Mhm.
Seasons Hotels and Resorts was my biggest client. And so I got to travel all over the world and like stay in Four Seasons hotels, which is not a bad.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So
It's hard to go back from that. It's hard to
it
turn
is,
that
it's a
ship
little
around.
step down. It's a little step down, when you have to stay in just like a regular hotel.
Yeah, right.
But,
Right.
it is what it is. Um, but so I did that for 15 years, and I loved
Mhm.
it for a long, long time. And then, my first husband passed away, and I just started to feel like something was missing, something was off. I wasn't absolutely loving this anymore.
Mhm.
And I really just needed to, what I decided was I was going to stop doing jobs and start doing my work. And I had no idea what my work was. I just knew it was going
Mhm.
to be something. So in 2019, I decided that I was going to start my own business. I had been life coaching and just coaching in general for years. I'd been coaching since about 2013. I'd been a CrossFit coach. Like I'd done all these different types of coaching. And so I was going to start my own coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of 2019, I retired from agency life, was going to start my business on December 31st. January 5th, my husband at the time and I decided to get a divorce. So, and then, oh yeah, by the way, COVID. So nobody was buying coaching services. Like nobody was interested in that. So basically what happened was we decided to put the house up for sale that we owned together, that we had built. And this agent knocked on my door that he said, I'm going to have an agent come. And I was like, that's fine. And so the agent comes and she was great. And she and I were talking and she looked at me and she said, what are you going to do? Like, what are your plans after you sell this house? And I was like, well, I just quit my job. I have no income right now. I have my savings, which is what I'm living off of. I have no 2 years of income to show. Like, I think I'm going to be homeless. Like in my head, like this is what is going through my head. And I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do. And she said, well, she goes, we've got rent to own programs. I have some rentals, we can do this, this, and this. If you stick with me, I will make sure you're not homeless. And I was immediately like relieved. And she hooked me up with a lender, and through creative financing, I got my house. And she helped me get that fresh start that I desperately needed at that time. So in 2021, I was finishing up a gig with a marketing agency. I had gone back into the marketing world for a brief stint and I was laid off. And I was like, what do I want to do? Like, what do I really want to do? It just kept coming back. Like, I just want to help people. So how can I help people? What are some ways that I can help people and make money at the same time and take care of my kids? And my mom said, well, you really liked your real estate agent. I just saw she and I are friends on Facebook. I just saw she's having a career night. And I was like, oh. And I went and I was like, yeah, this is like everything in me was like, this is what we're doing. This is the next thing. So I jumped in, I got my license and I joined the team and I've been doing that since 2022.
And you're not just doing real estate, you're actually doing really well. You told me your numbers. What does your business look like? I know you're on a team, right? So you joined the team.
Yep.
What team are you on?
So I'm on the easy sales team. I really wanted to be autonomous and make my own decisions for my own business, but I didn't want to feel alone. Okay. And so the team model really spoke to me because I was able to kind of do both of those things. And I was able to see the value that the team was providing to justify what income I would be giving them, from the team perspective. And for me, it totally makes sense. Again, I'm an only parent. I don't want to install signs. I don't want to do a ton of marketing stuff. Like I need to be out there meeting people and making deals happen and doing the showings and all of that.
So you're using it as some leverage because
absolutely
you need leverage, right?
Absolutely. My team is my leverage. We have admins, we have the marketing, we have just people in general to help. We have a coaching program. So it absolutely made sense to me. So yeah, my very first year, I think I sold like 4 houses. In 2023, my first full year in real estate, I'd had 27 transactions. And then this year so far, I've done 21. So my business is a mix of residential and investor. So I have an investor client. We are closing tomorrow on our 20th deal together. Nice. So I like working with investors. They buy a lot and they're very quick transactions. And yeah, they're smaller, but those paychecks help pay the bills and get stuff going.
Yeah.
Your stuff to close. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, yeah. And again, you literally it's only been 2.5 years of being licensed and you're rocking and rolling. And I don't think a lot of people can say that. So that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
So you jumped right into real estate. You're a single mother. Tell me about what have been your challenges? I mean, how has that transition gone? And what kinds of challenges do you face with this newfound, freedom?
Yeah.
yet not freedom, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure
exactly.
that's about what you're going to say, right?
Yeah, this is, I don't know if I would necessarily call it free. It's more
Yes.
flexibility than freedom, but
Flexibility. That's right. Mhm.
yeah. So honestly, the biggest challenge has been the fact that since 2008, I had been working from home. And so I was always home. The kids always saw me. If they ever needed anything, mom was right there. You know, if we had stuff going, I was right there. And suddenly I'm gone all the time.
Right. Right.
I'm in the office on Mondays. I'm doing showings. I'm doing networking events. Like, you know, I
Mhm.
do all of these things. And so the kids are kind of like, where are you? Like, how long are
Mm.
you going to be gone today? So I think that has been one of our biggest adjustments.
Mhm. Mhm.
The other thing has been just recognizing that, you know, the income is different. You know, it's not a steady paycheck where I know I'm going to get paid on the 1st and the 15th of every month.
Right.
It's, I'm supposed to get paid on Friday if it closes, but we'll see, you know, like it's that constant balancing act. And the kids have also been great about like stepping up and
Mm.
helping out a lot more. So we have a rule in the house where each of the kids has to make dinner one night a week for the
Okay.
entire family.
I like
So
that. I
I
like
am not
that.
responsible for making dinner every night. The kids have also taken over laundry. Like
Wow.
I can't do it. Like I just can't.
Mhm.
I've taught them to do little repairs around the house, you know, like how to clog a drain, you know, how to change out a light bulb, like just the little stuff that mom
Mhm.
normally does,
Mhm.
they can go ahead and do. Um, you know, my kids have, you know, I know a lot of parents who still make their kids lunches and their kids are like 12 and 13 years old. And there's a part of me that feels terrible that I'm not one of those moms. But at the same time, like my kids have been making their own lunches since first grade. Cause I'm like,
Mhm.
again,
Mhm.
I just don't have time. I don't have the ability to do that.
Right,
Um,
right.
but they're
Well,
also very self-sufficient that way.
well, and that's, I mean, that's something to recognize, it's like in the the position that you're in,
Yeah.
being a single mother, being an only parent, you can't do all those things. Like you
Mhm.
just physically can't. You would not be able to survive, right?
No,
If you tried to do everything.
no.
And so it's actually just pretty incredible that you recognized early on, hey, these are perfectly capable human beings able to make their own lunches, do some things for themselves. And
Oh my gosh.
I think we should all do more of that, right? As parents.
Yeah.
Um, it's good for them. It's good for them to find that independence. So it's actually a gift for you and a gift for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It really is. So
awesome.
my grandmother, my dad's mom had 12 kids, 11 boys and one girl.
Right.
And she made a point every time one of the boys got married, she made a point to tell the incoming daughter-in-law, every single one of these boys knows how to iron a shirt, sew on a button, and make a hamburger. So all of them can survive. So like I just kind of take that same. Julie, my
Right.
dogs are barking
Oh,
outside.
it's
So let me
okay.
let them in really quick so that they
Oh,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah. Run. Yep. Aw.
oh my gosh, they're so demanding.
Well, that's a whole nother level of what
Oh,
you have to take care of as a mom, right?
yeah.
The animals.
Yeah. So we have 8 animals in the house.
Oh,
Um,
oh wow.
yeah, we have 3 dogs and 5 cats right now.
Oh
So
boy.
2 of the cats will be leaving at some point, but just I live on a farm.
Oh,
That's what I
nice.
tell people. I
Nice.
live on a farm.
Awesome.
So
So you said that like your challenges are the paycheck. You don't
mhm.
know. How have you managed that? Like how are you able to manage not
Um,
knowing when you're getting paid? What kinds of things are you doing to kind of make those paychecks more consistent? Maybe that's a better
yeah.
question. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of making them more consistent, definitely working with investors has been a game changer.
Mm.
Because they are the quicker paychecks. They are multiple, you know, I
Mhm.
can close on $100,000 house or a $60,000 house and make enough money to cover me for a few weeks before, you know, the next big thing comes in. You know, some months I'm better at managing it than others.
Mhm.
That's just, some months it's, in the last year it was, okay, which bill is going to get paid first, and then you kind of figure that out. The biggest thing that has been a shift for me is building up the savings, building up those reserves to take care of us in those times where either I have to step away or business is just a little quiet. In June, I had to step back. We had multiple family things going on. We had just a lot of things that required my attention and required me to step back for just a little bit. I was still taking care of the clients I had, but I wasn't actively going out and finding new business. And so because I had built up some reserves, we were fine and we were taken care of financially. Well, now that I've dipped into those reserves, now I got to go back and start all over and kind of build it back up again. But it really is just a matter of prioritizing. It's about, having the open and honest conversations with my kids and being like, no, we don't need 18 streaming services. Let's pick our top 3 this month. If next month it's different, we'll switch it next month. Right. Like it's just having those conversations, and just having the conversation of, no, we're not going to eat out this month. Like, let's just focus on, let's find some fun recipes that we can do together. You guys want pizza? Let's go get the ingredients and actually make our own pizza, and it will last 2 days instead of 1.
Right.
So it's just a lot of creativity and open conversation.
I like that. That's awesome. So what would you say have been the best things, the things that you love the most about this career, this newfound career?
Oh my gosh. Handing the keys to that mom who genuinely thought she would never own a house, and then she just looks at it. Like I gave it to a mom. So I worked with a married couple a couple months ago. I actually just started working with her sister to help them buy their first house. But I handed her the key and I was like, here you go. Congratulations. She goes, I can go in now. And I said, yeah. She goes, there's no rules. I'm like, you make the rules. It's your house. But it was just that feeling of, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But single moms, like, my big why is not just about giving my kids an amazing life, which that kind of for me, like, goes without saying. My big why is to help every single parent find a safe, healthy, happy home for them to live in with their children, whether that be renting or buying. So I had a client last year. She messaged me and said she wanted to look at a couple of rentals, and I was doing rentals at the time. So I said, sure, no problem. So I drive there, I meet her. She's got 2 little boys. They're like 10 and 8, and they're super cute. And they're just running around, like checking everything out, all of the things. And we go out to leave, and we had 2 more houses to look at. And she's just kind of standing there a little awkwardly. And I said, did you guys drive here? She goes, no, we had to take an Uber. So it might be a little bit before I can get an Uber to go. I said, well, why don't you guys just ride with me? Like, I'll take you. And the little boy hugged me because they wouldn't have to wait for an Uber. So I was like, that's cute. We get in the car, we go and we see the other 2 houses, and she finds one that she likes. And so we start talking about what she needs to do to apply. And, she has housing assistance. So we're kind of talking about that. And I said, I was like, okay, give me your address and I'll drop you guys off at home. And so she gives me the address and I plug it in, and we drive, and I dropped her off at a homeless shelter in downtown. And she lived in 1 room with her 2 boys in a very overcrowded homeless shelter. And we got her into a house, and to date, that is one of my most rewarding moments. I did not get paid on that deal, and I don't care because she got out of the homeless shelter with her kids. She referred me to another woman that she met in the homeless shelter who had 5 kids under the age of 13. And so I would go and pick her up. Again, no car, no job. She lost both in the same week, then was evicted, and she's trying to figure it out. And I pick her up, and all 5 of her kids get into my car, and we go drive around, and we look at another deal I did not get paid on, and I don't care, because that is why I do this work. It gives me the flexibility to help these women who just need that extra help. So for me, it is the flexibility. It has given me a whole different level of confidence that I didn't know existed in me. So a month ago, I auditioned for my first play in 20 years and got a part.
Ah,
That
nice.
Yeah, that play opens tonight at the Hooker Club at Playhouse Square.
What is it?
It's called Election Day. It's a new play that was written by a local author.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so in this whole process, though, my oldest became the stage manager for the show,
Oh,
and my youngest got a small role in the show. So
cool.
it's just like as a family, my kids can look at me and say, "Wow, in her 40s,
Mm-hmm.
mom completely reinvented her career.
Mm-hmm.
Mom went and tried, auditioned for a show that she hadn't done in 20 years." I
Mm-hmm.
always want to show the kids life's not over. There's always something
Mm-hmm.
to try. And so that's kind of the message that I always want to give them.
That is so cool. I love that.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's hard to put that into words that when you jump out on your own and you become an entrepreneur, because that's what we all are, we're entrepreneurs. I mean, whether you're doing it on your own with a
Mhm.
brokerage, if you're on a team, we're all still running our own businesses. We are all fully responsible for ourselves. And it does give you this level of, um, you said flexibility, but
Mhm.
creativity,
Yeah.
responsibility. There's just something that it does to you that it shows you that what you put in comes out, and
Yes.
basically the sky is the limit, right?
Mhm.
And if you go into it like Angela has, like you have, that you just went in with a very open mind, a very open heart, and with a very strong why. It's pretty incredible what comes back to you, right? And what the
Yes.
universe will bring to you when you do that. And this is just like this business is just a conduit for our personal growth. um, it pushes you out of your comfort zone. It
Big
causes
time.
you to really get outside of yourself when you're helping these other families, and it
Mhm.
causes you to be stretched. And we can grumble about it as agents and say, oh, this is a hard deal, or this is a hard situation, or this is a hard person, but at the end of the day, these are gifts that we get to endure, right? And
Yeah.
they're just making us better, and then we're able to pour that out into everyone in our lives. And it is so cool to hear your story, and to hear like the passion behind your why.
Mhm.
I don't think everybody has that. And if you
Mhm.
don't have that, it's really important to take some time and think about it, and really think about, what am I doing this for? Because otherwise, you're not going to get up. You're not going to do your lead gen. You're not going to go to that networking event. And then you're not going to sell houses. And then you won't have the gift of this amazing industry, right?
Yep.
So it's all in our hands. So what kind of support and
Mhm.
help? I know you talked a little bit about your kids are
Mhm.
supporting you and helping you. Um, you have systems and models.
Big
'Cause
time.
we're all about systems and models, right? But you have systems and models at your home.
Yep.
You have processes that you all live by, which I absolutely love. And
Mhm.
I love how you have like your mottos and your sayings that will stay with your kids for the rest of their lives. What other support do you have? Is anyone else helping you?
So in 2019, my parents moved here. So
Um,
I was born and raised in Lima. And then when I moved to New York, my parents moved to Washington, D.C. They were
oh,
like, they're going to go live their big dream.
mhm.
And my dad worked at C-SPAN for 16 years.
Mhm. Okay.
So they moved here in 2019. My brother lives here with his two kids. And then I, obviously, with my three kids. And then I have another brother in Texas. So my parents were like, well, five of the grandkids are in Cleveland. Let's go there. So
Mhm.
they help me a ton.
Mm,
If I
great.
need transportation or help with the kids or something like that, 90% of the time they're able to help me out.
Great.
I have a boyfriend who's wonderfully supportive,
Mhm.
and he gives me that, like, emotional and mental boost, like,
Mhm.
whenever, I was texting him last night, and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this." He's like, "You can do anything." He's like, "I'm dating Wonder Woman. What are you talking about?" And so it's just, he's amazing at, like, building me up. And then I have my tribe of girlfriends, and
Mm,
my girlfriends are, like, my lifeblood, you know? They're the girlfriends who go, I haven't heard from you in 3 days. What's going on?
Mm,
Or we'll have coffee and they're like, you don't sound right. Like
mm,
when's your next day off? Like, when are you taking some time for you? So they keep me in check that way. So I have that. And then, of course I have the professional help. Like, I have the
mhm,
therapist and I have, my real estate coach and I feel wonderfully supported.
good.
There are days that, um, because as a single mom and as an only parent, I'm the one who takes care of the kids. I'm the one who takes care of the bills. And I feel bad like asking the kids. I don't like to ask the kids to help take care of me or to help with this. Like, it's just, that's a thing for me. And so there are days where I'm like, who's going to take care of me? Like, who's
Mhm.
going to do that? And I'm really starting to find those people that do that for me. So
That's
that's been a
awesome.
huge blessing.
And I think that is the important part is, you are doing this as a single parent.
Mhm.
You're doing this, by yourself,
Mhm.
yet you've created a whole community around you,
Yeah.
and having that community and support. You created that intentionally. That wasn't something that you just grumbled about and said, I'm all by myself. You obviously, to have girlfriends like that, you have to build into them, right? You have
Yeah.
to be intentional to build those friendships. To have a
Absolutely.
therapist, you have to go find that.
Mhm.
Um,
And
to
sometimes it takes 2 or 3 before you find one that's a good fit for you.
Right,
So
and sometimes it takes revamping friendships because maybe they aren't supportive, maybe they aren't checking on you, maybe they're sucking the life out of you. So
yeah.
those are important things to think about. Who are you surrounding yourself with?
Yeah.
Because we do need a lot of support when we're in a business where you give, right? Or you're a mother and you're giving. But thinking about, and even just like you said, you found a very supportive, loving man in your life
Mhm.
that lifts you up. He doesn't drag you down, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes those are things people need to really look at. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Who is in your life helping you to be a better person? And who are you helping to be a better person, right?
Yeah. I don't know if it was Jim Rohn or Zig Ziglar, or it
Mm,
was one of the, personal development greats, but he said, "Your life is the result of the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with."
absolutely.
And so when I started to look at that, I started to specifically approach top agents on my team and say, "Do you need help? Is there something I can do for you? I want you in my circle."
Mm,
And through that,
mhm.
that is one of the biggest catalysts for my business growing, is
Yeah,
because I surrounded myself with successful people and I was like, I have to up my game. I have
absolutely.
to do one more thing, just one, not
Mhm,
overhaul my life, but just
mhm,
what's one more thing I can do? And eventually I asked one of those agents to be my coach.
mhm,
She pushed me to the point where I am now a coach. So I
mhm,
have 12 coaching clients on our team.
mhm,
And these are brand new agents,
mhm,
they require a lot of hand holding, and I love it
mhm.
because somebody did that for me. So I
Yep.
want to make sure that I have that for them too, and that
Right.
they have that support system around them.
Absolutely, absolutely, and, none of that happens by, I mean, yes, it happens by chance and it happens by intention.
Mhm.
So, when you're crystal clear about what it is you want,
Yes.
then you can be intentional about what it is you get.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh, yeah.
it sounds like, you were crystal clear on your why and what
Mhm,
you wanted out of your life and what you want your family to look like. And
mhm.
now how you're going to build your business, which is, clarity is power. And, being intentional about those relationships and who you surround yourself with is so important for
Yep.
any parent, for any person in general, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What
Sure.
kind of advice or what do you want to say to the other single parents, whether mothers or fathers out there who are either embarking in a new career in real estate or are struggling in real estate or just, need some motivation or, um, just
Yeah.
lifting up? What would you say to them?
So the first thing I would say is give yourself permission to suck at something for a while, because you're learning,
Yeah.
right? Give yourself grace. Don't not go and do something just because you don't know all the details yet. That's why we have coaches. That's why we have, education. That's why we have training. That's why we have all of these. In women especially, I see that they keep waiting for the confidence to take the action. What's the only thing that's going to give them confidence? It's taking the action. So we have it backwards. We're waiting for that confidence to be able to go do the thing, but it's going and doing the thing that gives you the confidence. So go do the thing. Okay? But find someone who's further on the path than you and ask them to be your coach, to be your mentor, have something set up with them where you can call them and say, okay, I have a new buyer. What do I do? Or they just asked me about a tax abatement. What does that mean? I get calls like that every single day, and I love it because I can answer those questions. And if I can tell them where to go get the answer. So give yourself permission to suck. It's going to be hard. You're not going to know everything. You got to learn.
Still don't.
Yep. Still
never will. Right.
There's still days I have to call somebody else to answer a question for one of my people. But give yourself permission to learn and try something new, and get the support that you need. I don't know hardly any agents that, in fact, I don't know any agents that have done it completely on their own without any outside help. I just don't.
No. And what about on a personal level? When it just seems like it's just too hard to manage the not knowing how much money you're going to make, or, the sporadic schedule. What would you say to folks who are dealing with that as single parents?
So I was dealing with that over the last weekend. It was one of those days where I opened Indeed. I'm like, are there any jobs that I should go apply? It was just like one of those days.
Sure.
And the biggest thing for that is tell on yourself. Okay. So I went to my coach and I said, this is what happened this weekend. And she said, okay, tell me about that. And so we talked through it, and she goes, okay, so what do we need to do? And I was like, I don't know. And she goes, let's prioritize lead gen. And I went, okay.
That's usually the answer.
Yeah. I just needed someone to tell me what to do, because as an only parent, you get decision fatigue. You have to make all the decisions. What school are my kids going to go to? What clothes am I going to buy for them? What food are they going to eat? What religion are we going to practice? What shows can they watch? What music am I okay? You make 1,000 decisions a day, big and small. And you just get to the point where you're like, can somebody else please just tell me what to do?
That's right.
And so that's what a coach is for me.
Right.
They're not going to tell me what to do, but they're going to suggest things, and I'm going to see if it resonates with me.
Absolutely.
So from a personal perspective, when you have those, tell on yourself, say, this is what's going through my head. And then have somebody else say it back to you and see if it's true, or if it's just that fear running rampant in your head.
That is such great advice. And I love that your coach put you right back to lead gen.
Oh yeah.
It's always the answer. It's always the answer.
Oh yeah. And she was like,
some lead gen.
Yeah. She's like, I know the show ends on Saturday. So as of Monday, you and I are doing lead gen together. And I was like,
right. Okay. Find some lead gen that you love, look at it differently, change your perspective, and just go do it. Cause that's the beauty of our job is we literally get to talk to people we like.
Yes.
And see how they're doing and add value every single day. And that is all lead gen is. It is not scary. It is not hard.
I get to go to Cleveland Restoration Society meetings, and it's work. I'm like,
see, again, we can create these perceptions in our head, or these ideas that this is hard and I don't want to do it. And oh my gosh, this is so much fun. You get to make phone calls. You get to go to open houses and meet new people. You get to go door knocking. That's all you're doing is just trying to add value to other people. So if you're struggling, if your paycheck is up and down, the answer is lead gen.
Yep.
And I love how Angela said, if you're really struggling and you just can't get to that on your own, because I get it. Trust me. I mean, I have I have been licensed for a long time and I still am like, do I have to do that? It's
Mhm.
still, nobody like loves it. It's just a muscle, right?
Yeah.
And it's just shifting your mindset. But I love what you said. Just ask someone for help. I had an agent in our team and he was like, I just like he's newer and he's learning, and there's just, I mean, it's like drinking from a fire hose, right? When you're
Oh
just
my
learning
gosh.
this
Yeah.
industry,
Yep.
there's so much and it's very overwhelming. And
Mhm.
he's like, there's so much to learn and I just don't know what to do. And I'm like, all you need to do is call your coach and say, what should I do for the next 5 days?
Mhm.
I'm like, just have her show you what to do for the next 5 days and then do it. And you don't even have to think about it.
Yep.
And then slowly you'll start understanding it and building that muscle. So I love that. Angela, this is you are such a blessing. Um, you're such a light and
Aw.
you are, yeah, just so beautiful. And I'm so thankful for you. And I'm thankful that you've shared because being a single parent is not easy. Being a real estate agent is not easy. And then being both together. But like I always say, we wouldn't have it any other way or we would be bored out of our minds, right?
Yeah,
We don't
there's no
want to
way I
sit
could
at
go
a
work for
desk.
anybody else. No.
No, we don't want to work for somebody else. We want
Nope.
to work for ourselves and we want to create our own destiny and we want to build a life by design, right?
Yep.
And show our kids how strong we are and show our kids that it takes a community, uh, that it's not just what you can handle. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Angela.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Okay, and I'll make sure to put, if anybody wants to contact you, what would be the best way to contact you? Like if someone is struggling or they just need some encouragement as a single parent, what would be the best way for them to contact you?
Send me an email, angela.m@ezsalesteam.com. So that's the letters E and Z. So
Perfect.
that's the easiest way.
Send her an email, reach out. I'm sure she seems like, I think next time I'm struggling, I'm going to call her and say, "Can you
Please
give me a pep
do.
talk?"
Please do. Every day I give at least one girlfriend a pep talk. So
I love
please
it. I
do.
can tell you've got some good pep talks in you. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.